Hi everyone, and welcome to our daily show, The Big Story, where we discuss the hottest topics of the day right here in the heart of the newsroom. My name is Alyssa Wu, and I'm coming to you live from the Straits Times. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, do subscribe to our channel and click that bell button to be notified whenever we go live. I'll be joined very shortly by my newsroom colleagues, where we'll discuss the topics that got you talking today. So you can feel it, and you probably already know it. Singapore is going through a dry spell. In fact, July was Singapore's second warmest July on record, with an average temperature of 29 degrees Celsius. The dry spell is due to a climate phenomenon known as the Indian Ocean Dipole, or IOD for short. To tell us more about it, I have the environment correspondent, Audrey, here with me. Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Alyssa.
Okay, so did I pronounce it correctly?
It's the Indian Ocean Dipole.
Thank you. Okay, so can you tell us more about IOD?
Okay, so the Indian Ocean Dipole is a climate phenomenon that can severely affect the rainfall patterns of countries surrounding the Indian Ocean, and that includes Singapore. So under normal conditions, there is a warm pool of water around Singapore and the rest of Southeast Asia. But during this phase of the Indian Dipole, which is the positive phase of the Indian Dipole, the warm pool of water actually shifts west towards Africa, and that kind of draws the rainfall away from it. So that is the reason why we've been experiencing hotter and drier conditions here in Southeast Asia. And the impacts of this positive phase of the Indian Ocean Dipole is similar to the impacts of another climate phenomenon known as El Nino. It's just that Indian Ocean Dipole is centered around the Indian Ocean, and the impacts of El Nino is centered around the Pacific Ocean. So Singapore is influenced by changes in sea surface temperatures and atmospheric pressure differences in both oceans, and this is what we're experiencing now.
So you said something about we're experiencing the positive effect or
yes.
cycle of it. So on the flip side, then what is negative?
So the negative phase of the Indian Ocean Dipole will actually bring more rain towards Singapore and Southeast Asia. So the Meteorological Service Singapore, they did give an advisory telling us about this phenomenon earlier this month on August 2nd. So currently we're experiencing the Indian Ocean Dipole, and this phase is expected to last a few months, usually about 6 months or so. So we can anticipate that we will continue suffering hotter and drier weather in the months to come. But I mentioned earlier that the impacts are similar to El Nino, and many people here would remember the severe haze incident in 2015. But I think it's important to note that whenever we talk about climate phenomenon, whether El Nino or Indian Ocean Dipole, the impacts are very varied, and each event is so different. So you just have to wait and see for what the weather will be like in the near term.
So meaning it could be 6 months now as predicted, or next year it could be less than 6 months, or it could be longer than 6 months. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so the Indian Ocean Dipole, the positive phase, neutral phase, and the negative phase, each phase happens on average about every 3 to 5 years. So right now we're experiencing the positive phase, and how long the next phase will take to kick in, we're not sure.
I see. Okay. So because of this, the weather is so dry, a lot of water is being evaporated from our reservoirs. How is Singapore dealing with this?
Okay, so currently Singapore, under National Water Agency PUB, we have 4 national taps. So that includes imported water from Malaysia, water from our local catchment, which includes our 17 reservoirs, new water, which is recycled used water, and desalination. So imported water and water from our reservoirs are very weather dependent, like what we have now. So PUB has said that during dry spells, they will pump new water into our reservoirs to ensure healthy water levels. But I think it's important to note that Singaporeans can also do our part by trying to conserve water in our own ways.
I don't know whether it's possible for us to not wash our cars in this dry spell.
We can hope, I guess.
Okay, so because we live in the tropics, right? Is such dry spells to be expected, or is it due to climate change?
Okay, so there are still ongoing studies to link single events to climate change. So this is known as attribution studies. So it is kind of difficult to establish links between singular extreme events or singular events like dry spells or heat waves to climate change. A suitable analogy that a lot of climate scientists use would be a sports analogy. So they say that you take a baseball player, for example. A baseball player on steroids could hit more home runs, but a baseball player without steroids would also be able to hit home runs. So basically it's about the increased frequency and intensity that we can only establish after an event happened, and studies are still ongoing in this aspect. But even though we can't attribute singular events to climate change, the science is quite clear that humans are causing climate change. So data from Hawaii, collected in Hawaii, shows that increasing levels of increasing concentrations of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, which means it traps heat on the planet. And you can see that it correlates with data from NASA from the 1960s onwards. It's an upward trend similar to carbon dioxide concentrations. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for sharing with us, Audrey, and hopefully the dry spell will end sooner than expected.
Thank you.
Right. Now on to our second segment. The Singapore Night Festival is back for its 12th edition. From August 23rd, which is today, to August 31st, the Bras Besar Bugis district will be aglow with art installations, festive entertainment and interactive artworks. To tell us more about it, I have Benson Ang, a lifestyle correspondent, here with me. Hi Benson.
Hi Alyssa.
Okay, so can you tell me more about the event?
Well, the Singapore Night Festival is back again. So this is known as a festival where family and friends come together and they see beautiful light artworks, they see performances together and they spend a lot of time together. So this is the 12th edition and it opens tonight and runs for 2 weekends. This edition, there's a lot to see and experience. There are 17 light artworks, there are more than 40 performances and roving acts, and there are 2 festival villages.
Okay, so out of all these, basically I heard a lot of numbers. So what is the headliner of the festival?
Well, the festival opens with a projection on the facade of the National Museum of Singapore. It's called Keep Dreaming, and it's by this French group called Spectaculaires. Okay, and the storyline is about 3 characters that sort of awaken from a slumber and they go on an adventure together. I can't tell you more because you got to see it yourself.
Oh, I was hoping you could tell me more. Okay, so is the event free?
Most of the acts are free. However, there are some programs in the lineup that are ticketed. So next weekend, there's going to be an immersive theatre show called Fuerza Bruta, which is by a very internationally acclaimed troupe from Argentina. And so it costs $15 and tickets are from Zistic, but for $15 you get to see an unforgettable world. You get to see performers tumbling out from secret openings and taking to the skies. So I think it's worth it.
I understand, Benson, you probably had a media preview, so you've seen everything already. So which one is your favorite? And so which one we should look out for?
Well, I really like the facade projection at Chimes, which is called Waves of Time, and it's inspired by Singapore's own legend of Sang Nila Utama. And this is a reimagination of the journey of a prince coming to our island and in our island. And I think that it has a childlike innocence to it, so I like that very much. Also, there's an artwork on the walkway along Stamford Road, and this is called Disco Walkway. And there are glowing neon-colored cubes along the walkway, and there's music playing. So on Wednesday, when I was there conducting interviews, we saw passers-by who were walking on the walkway and listening to the music, and they were sort of dancing along to it. So it looks like a lot of fun.
So I understand. So we have the video. You can see people dancing. They were dancing to the song Night Fever, Saturday Night Fever by Bee Gees. Right. But do the songs change?
Yes, they do change.
So were you dancing to the song on Wednesday?
A little bit inside.
Okay, it does look like a lot of fun. Okay. Thank you so much, Benson, for sharing. As he mentioned, for more information on the festival, please head to this website, nightfestival.sg. Now for our last segment, it's Friday. It's past 5:30 p.m. and I can almost taste the weekend. And maybe after watching this upcoming segment, you might literally want to eat your way through the weekend. If you're always on the lookout for someplace new to eat, then please stick around. To share more about this week's food picks, I have here with me Heidi.
Hi.
Hello, hi, how are you again? So can you tell us what do you pick for this weekend?
Okay, I've got like Hakka style Ban Mian from Bossy Ban Mian at Serangoon Garden Market and Food Centre, and I've also got unagi from Una, a new restaurant at Bugis Plus.
So out of all the eateries to pick, right, why did you pick these two?
Because they're very delicious. And I especially I'm in love with the Hakka style Ban Mian. That is like, it's very authentic and it tastes like, when you go there and eat, you come away with this feeling that you just ate at someone's house and his mom just made you a great meal. Yeah.
So can you elaborate a bit more on, Ban Mian is just noodles, right? Or am I wrong?
Oh, it's not just noodles. I mean, noodles are so varied. And this guy is very into the noodle thing because it took him a year to get the right supplier of noodles that are very close to the ones that his mom would make at home. And his mom herself also used to sell ban mian at in Seletar until the market closed. So they have very high standards and they're very finicky about their ban mian. So his mom told him, if you cannot find the right supplier, please, don't bother opening your shop. Yeah, because I'm not going to approve and I won't help you.
Wow, Asian mom standard.
Yeah. So it's amazing because it's not handmade noodles because these are obviously factory-made noodles, but you won't be able to quite tell because they are so springy, so chewy, and it's got the texture. And I brought a Hakka friend there to try the noodles, and he was almost in tears because it reminded him of his own hometown and his own mom's cooking.
So what makes this ban mian Hakka style? Is it the other ingredients that you use?
I think the key elements is one is that they use mani thai, and he's very brave to use this mani thai, which is actually called sweet leaf in English, because the supply is not very regular, and it's hard, to get this vegetable. It's a very old school kind of heritage cooking, and he really insists on using this vegetable. If you're used to eating spinach or cabbage, you might find this vegetable very fibrous, but it adds a really good aroma and flavor and sweetness to the soup, and it's actually not greasy. And you don't come away, with some other ban mians, you come away feeling like it's very cloying, you had too much of it, and you feel even a little bit guilty because, all the minced pork and a lot of fatty bits. So for this guy, he uses chilled pork, which is very amazing at this time where pork prices are really, skyrocketing. And he doesn't want to use frozen pork, he uses chilled pork. If you get the prawn version, he uses fresh prawns. So, and he has this interesting chili dip that they make from scratch themselves. It's made from green chili padi, garlic, and vinegar. And it's so it's so zesty that when you dip your noodles or your pork or, into it, it's really nice. And what I really like about it also is that he's a little bit very particular about the ikan bilis. He fries it himself, so it's not like your factory-made ikan bilis with a lot of sugar and salt and MSG on it. It's served on the side, and he insists on that because you can control the amount that you want to add to your own noodles, and that also you can adjust the level of saltiness to your own preference, and it's very clean and it's very tasty. Yeah,
I can really see you coming to life and you tell me about this one.
Yeah.
So would you recommend dry or soup?
I would go for the soup version because for the dry version, it also looks really nice. I mean, you can tell from the picture. But the thing is that he took in a lot of feedback from his customers who want to be health conscious and who asked him to adjust the seasoning such that, for me, I find it a little bit it's not as flavorful as I would like it.
Okay,
yeah, so I would go for the soup version.
And how much is it?
It's just $4.
Okay, so if you have the budget and the stomach, just have both.
Oh,
have
yeah.
soup and dry.
Yeah.
Okay, the other one is unagi.
Yes.
Una.
Yes. It's very interesting here. So it's a bit of a lesson for me as well. I learned something new. They have Nagoya style grilled unagi as well as the Tokyo style. So for the Nagoya style, they have their signature dish that is called the Hitsu Mabushi, and you can have the grilled eel 3 ways. And in this dish, the eel is grilled such that the meat side is crispy. So it has to have that, that smoky, and it's charcoal grilled, so it's crispy, and then they slice it up, and then so you eat it on its own, just the rice and the eel, and then you move on, step 2, you have it with a little bit of wasabi and spring onion, and then finally you have it with the dashi, a bit like, pour the dashi into it, and then you have it. And that's fine to have it with condiments, but the chef said that if you're going to have it Tokyo style, right, for the Tokyo style, the eel cannot be crispy. So some of their customers say oh, how come it's not crispy after they have had the Nagoya style, right? It's not meant to be crispy in this Tokyo style though. So you're supposed to enjoy it on its own because it's fully soaked up the unagi sauce that is grilled in. More attention is needed to grilling the Tokyo style because you can't get it crispy. So the chef has to be watching it, and that's why the price is a little bit more premium. You're supposed to enjoy it and not ask for wasabi and spring onion because you know, that's not approved if you try to ask for wasabi to go with your unaju. Yeah.
So how much is the Nagoya style one and then the Tokyo style one?
Okay, the Nagoya style one, if you have the regular size, I think it's $14.80 plus. And for the Tokyo style, I tried the one that comes with the ikura, the salmon ikura, the salmon roll. So that's one of their premium dishes. It's $26.80. Yeah, but there's so much salmon roll in it, you know, to keep you occupied and to keep you happy. Yeah.
You know, you actually sold me on unagi. I think I will try the unagi. I'm getting very hungry.
Yeah,
right now.
I've been hungry from before this show started, so.
But you're still full of life. Well, hopefully you've heard something from me and maybe you've found some things to eat this weekend. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thank you. So those are our top stories for today, and thank you for joining us. Do have a good weekend ahead. For more news and videos, do head on to straitstimes.com. Once again, I'm Melissa. For more big stories, join us next Monday.